In this video today, we're going to be using Actionscript 3.0 to produce a simple adventure game. It's just going to be a story plot where you have a series of choices that you can take. And we're going to be using event listeners, buttons. We're going to be creating buttons and using buttons to go to different frames. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my timeline and insert frame there, and I'm going to create the story on this frame, and on this frame is where we will put our actions. So we have our two layers, a story layer and an actions layer, and we're going to be creating static text. We're just going to be creating a simple story. We're going to start with 2 frames to begin with. We'll call it here and there. Oops. Oops. So we'll type in the words here, and we can increase the font size. 64 looks good. And change the font color. And pick a fancy font. Let's move this over here. We can change our stage background to something nice and pastel. And then we can type in let's change this to smaller font. We'll go back to 30. This actual tutorial is coming out of a book by Andy Harris called Beginning Flash Game Programming for Dummies. It was written for Flash MX 2004 using Actionscript 2.0. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using Actionscript 3.0 using Flash, Adobe Flash Professional CS5.5. So the codes will be a little bit different. If you want to go get the book, you can always obviously do this whole thing using Actionscript 2.0. But I would like to have my students learn this in Actionscript 3.0. So let's see, the grass looks greener over there. Center this over, and I'll reduce this again. We can change it to a new font style. That looks good. And now we're going to create a button from scratch. All right, I had showed you before that you can simply go into your common libraries and you can click on buttons, and then you can just pick a button to enter in there. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be creating our buttons from scratch. So I will create a nice rectangle, and I will make this button red or maroon, and I will increase the stroke a little bit. Let's just increase it to 3, and we'll draw a nice rectangle here. And then I will create a font, static font inside that says go there, and I'll change it to white. Put this a capital. Change the font style again. There. Pick my select tool, move this over to the middle, and I'll use the arrows to center it a little bit. I can put an exclamation point and make this 45. Move it up with the arrow tools so it's centered again. All right, so now I'm going to select all of this to make this my my button. So I right-click, convert to symbol, or I can go to modify, or I can push F8, convert to symbol. And instead of a movie clip, I'm going to create a button. I'll keep the center registration point, and I will call this the Go There button. All right, so this is the Go There button. And okay. And now this is a button. I'm going to double click on this so you can see we have different stages in a button. So we have our original stage, which is called the up stage, and then we have a mouse over stage. So I'll insert a keyframe there, and then we have the down stage, which is when you click on it. So I'll insert a keyframe there, and I'll show you something. So on the down stage, when it's getting clicked, let's make this bright green. So when it's clicked, it'll turn bright green. And we were originally red or maroon, and when we go mouse over, let's make this a purple. All right. So, and then the hit is the area that we actually you can put a keyframe in there. It's not going to make a difference. You don't see anything in this hit frame. So you can insert a keyframe, and what that means is when my mouse gets into this area that you see it turn into like a crosshair right now, that's where you will get the ability to click on the mouse. Now, if I was to draw something as big as this whole area in the hit area, you wouldn't see it, but that would mean I could click anywhere within that area. So this just tells you the dimensions of the clickable area that you have for your button. So let's go back to scene 1, and this is what our originally looks like. And if I hit Control and Test Movie in Flash, you'll see that when I mouse over, right, the hit allows it to turn into this hand, right, in the hit area as it goes over, that it becomes clickable. And when I mouse over, it turns purple, and if I click on it, it turns green. Okay. Now my button isn't doing anything right now because I haven't told it to do anything, but you can see that how the different states, what they look like there. So so I have that, and I just noticed that I want all of this in my story area, so I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste it. Paste. All right. So here is all this stuff here. So I'm going to go now to frame 25, and I'm going to insert a keyframe there, and I'm going to create there. Oops. So now I have here and there, and on back here. Right, so the grass looks greener back here. So now I want to change my button. So I'm going to click on this, and in order to change the text, I could have left the text as something easy, but it's not too hard. So I'm going to change this to go here. I'm going to click on this frame, go here. I'm going to click on this frame, go here, and I don't really have to do anything on the hit frame. I can change it so it looks like the other ones, but like I said, this isn't going to be visible. This just gives me a specific area that is clickable. So I really don't have to change anything there. And then I go back up here, and you have the go here. Now I'm going to be putting in some ActionScript. So I'm going to have the ActionScript on frame 1 and frame 25. So I'm going to insert keyframe right there. And I'm going to label these frames. So this frame right here, under the frame name, I'm going to put here. And you see that when I do that, this labels the frame. Instead of just being frame 1, I could use it as just frame 1. I've actually put a label there. And this frame right here, I'm going to label there. So this when I write the script, this gives me that something that I can write into the script that verbally expresses exactly where I want to go. I could say frame 1 and frame 25, but knowing what the program does, you either go here or there. Knowing the labels are here or there tell you if you're going to go here or you're going to go there. 25 could have been here and 1 could have been there, but it's not. So the fact that I labeled it allows me to better understand when I'm programming where it is or what exactly is going to happen when I click on that frame. What that frame is the purpose of that frame, or why am I going to frame 25? So this allows us to do that. So now that we have one more thing, we have our buttons, and you notice I use the same button for both of these, the Go There button, but that's not really relevant. It's the instance that I'm going to name these buttons, and what I'm going to name this button is the BTN Go There. So this is the Go There button, or I'm sorry, this is the Go Here. I was on the wrong, so I'm going to change this. It's on the wrong frame. This is the Go Here button. This button is gonna go here. And if I click here on this button, I'm going to name this the Go There. So BTN Go There. So this is the button. Oh, I made a mistake here too when I did this. So I am going to have to take the text out. So I'm gonna cut this text out, and I'm going to cut this text out. Oops, edit, undo. I put the text in the button, which is something I like to do, but because I'm using the same button from my library, my instances, if I change one, my other instance will automatically change too. So so I don't want that. So I'm going to put the text over the button. Paste, so that it's just text once again. Alright, so now this doesn't have anything because I changed the 1, so now this doesn't have anything there either. And paste. So that'll fix that problem. Yeah, very good. So we have here and there. This says go there, and that says go here. All right. So now I'm going to put in the codes that we have. All right. So we have the buttons named. Instant name on our button is the button go there, and our instant name here is the button go here. So now for our action script, I'm going to do Windows. You could also do just hit the F9 actions, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a stop command. So what this is telling is instead of Flash just wants to loop through these frames, and I could show you that. So Control test movie. you'll see that it loops through these frames at 24 frames per second. So we have here, there, here, there. If I put in a stop, this is telling it to stop running. As soon as it gets to this frame, it stops running. So control, test movie, in Flash Player. And now it doesn't go from here to there anymore. I can click here, nothing's going to happen. So I'll do the same thing, or I'll use the same code, I'll copy and paste it. You'll want to put a stop on this one, because when you click here and go all the way over there, you're going to want to stop there instead of running. It'll automatically continue to run until it hits this stop action once again. So we'll have a stop action on both frames. And then we have our event listeners. So these are our buttons. So we have our BTN go there button on this frame, and we're going to add the event listener, and it's a mouse event. And that mouse event is going to be a click. And we're going to have, I'm just going to name it, we're going to have an event response. All right, this is our function. So we're going to create a function. So why don't we call it the go there function, or just the go there event. So we'll just call it the go there for now. All right, so the go there. We can name it anything we want, and our function is going to be the go there. So now we're going to create our function, which is the go there, and that's going to be an event, and it's going to be a mouse event, and put it in parentheses, curly brackets. And on this frame is when it's going to take place. And we're going to go to and stop on the there labeled frame. All right. So so this is our simple code. Oop. Don't want that. So we have our stop, and then we have our button go there event listener, mouse event click go there. Our function is the go there function, and this go to and stop there. So this is all the same code we're going to put on the other one. Copy, and then we come over here and we're going to paste. But this button that we have is the go here button, and we're going to want to, our function, we're going to want to go here. And instead of there, we're going to go to and stop on here. All right, so let's go ahead and test our movie. Control, test movie, and Flash Player. So here we are, and then we click, and now we're there. The grass looks greener back there, and now we're here. Now we're there. So so this is simple events, creating buttons. Now I'm going to show you how to create a adventure game using simply our frame labels and our event listeners buttons and a simple function to go to the different storylines. We can see it'd be easy enough to extend this into a simple role-playing adventure by placing more buttons and extending this. So let's start with our here and put welcome. Let's reduce this. Welcome to our super adventure game. And then what we'll do is we'll change this to click to begin. Move that over a little bit using our arrow keys. All right, now move it down a little bit, give it more center. So, welcome to our super adventure game. Click to begin. All right, I'm going to get rid of all of this. It's unnecessary. Remove frames, and we can come out to 80. Just insert frame. All right, so every 10 frames we can add a keyframe. All right, insert keyframe, and what we could do is we can now take this button and all right, take off the instant name. Let's look at this button. All right, so we have the instant name on that button, but not this one. And let's change our frame name to begin, or we'll change it to title. And we'll take this frame here. So let's take this button and let's keep it clicking this so that it doesn't change the sides at all. And what we'll do is we'll make these buttons copy, paste, and we'll set these side by side. We can align these, let's see, arrange, align. All right, so all right, so now they have the same height, vertical center. Okay, so we've aligned those two images, and we have our welcome title slide here, but here we'll change this to we'll just get rid of that, and we'll have this go you are attacked by a bear when you went camping. Enter, enter, and we'll move that up. So we got a story. You were attacked by a bear when you went camping, and I got that centered. Should we'll make this our larger font. So static text. Should you move this back up? Looks good. Size 45. And add a text. 4. We'll put this, use the arrow key to move this down. So we have 2 buttons here. We'll put climb a tree, question mark, or jump in a lake, question mark. Alright, so we have 2 buttons. We have a choice here. You were attacked by a bear when you went camping. Should you climb a tree or jump in a lake? Alright, so now on 20, we'll put insert keyframe. And on 30, we'll have insert keyframe. Alright, so we'll call this, we'll title this one beginning, or begin. We'll call this one lake, and we'll call this one tree. Alright, so when we're on our lake frame, we'll put lucky you, the bear does not like water and you escape him. Should you swim for shore reduce this in size 40, or climb on a log. Swim for shore or climb on a log. And the tree is sorry, but the bear climbs the tree and eats you. With that, would you like to, we can change that to another font later. Cut. Play again. Drag it over. Center it. And so we have the lake, swim for shore, or climb a log. And so you get the idea. Okay, I decided to save a little time in the video to just, since I showed you how I set everything up. So I have, I labeled all these. So if I look here, this is the name title, and the button I have for this is the button begin, and then this is my begin labeled frame, and the buttons I have here are, I have my BTN tree for climb a tree, and BTN lake for jump in a lake. This is my lake named frame, and this one is BTN swim, and this one is BTN log. This is my tree, and I labeled this button again, because what's going to happen is you play again, you go all the way back to the beginning. This is my SW, my swim frame, and this is another one. This button is named BTN again 2, because it's the second button that you hit. And this is my LOG name labeled, and I have BTN rock and BTN falls, and my rock is a button named BTN again 3, and my falls is the end of the story. Congratulations, you win. So you know that my code for the first frame, from what it was originally when we had our over here and over there labeled frames. All right, so we have our button is the one we have is our BTN begin for frame number 1, and we have our add events listeners. When we click it, we're going to call this function go to begin, and the function is go to begin. It's an event. It's a mouse event. We don't have any previous data that we need, so it's void. And then you will go to and stop at the begin labeled frame. So when I go to the begin labeled frame, I have a choice here of BTN tree, my tree button, or I can go to the lake, BTN lake, and I have my add event listeners, mouse events, clicks. This one you go to tree is the function I decided to call it, go to tree, and we will go to and stop on the frame labeled tree. But if I hit my lake button, go to lake, then I will go to the frame that says lake on it. All right, so on my lake event, I have my BTN, my swim button or my log button, BTN log. We go to swim, go to log for our function names, and we would end up at the swim frame 40, or we'd end up at the log frame 50. And then this continues in the same manner for each one of these. So our tree, we had our again button, the first one, so we go all the way back to the beginning because we lost. And then we have our swim, our again button, the second one, we go all the way back to the beginning because we lost. If we go on our log, then we have our button rock or our button falls. All right, we go to rock or we go to falls as our function names that we created, and we end up at the label rock or we end up at the label falls. All right, if we end up at the rock, then we go back to the beginning. If we end up at the falls, then nothing happens. We end the game. So let's do our control, and let's test this movie and see how it plays out. So in Flash Player, so we click to begin, and that takes us to the beginning where we have a choice of a tree or jump in a lake. So if we click on the tree, it says sorry, but the bear climbs, eats you, you die. Would you like to play again? Okay, so you go back to the beginning. All right, so I don't want to climb a tree because I'll die, so I'll jump in a lake. Lucky you, the bear does not like water. You escape him. Should you swim or should you climb on a log? So if we swim, oh, sorry. So now we go back to the beginning. So we jumped in a lake. We don't want to swim to the shore, so we climb on a log. The log is caught in a current. Should we go on the waterfall or should we go over the falls? Or go on a rock or go over the falls? We jump on a rock. It says, oh, you hit your head, you die, play again. So now we jump in the lake. We climb on a log. Then we go over the falls. Congratulations, you win. So that is our little story. You can continue this and create loops, or you can have it click and stay on the same thing, that the button doesn't send you anything over and over again. Or you can continue the story, make it as long as you want. So there is a simple adventure game made with small, simple functions, go to and stop, and some button listener events. And that's that. You can go ahead and make it as good as you want.